time. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the core team Mental Health Webinar Series and the organizer, Department of Psychology, the American College Madurai, and associating partners, Madras School of Social Work Chennai, MS Chellamuthi Institute of Rehabilitation and Mental Health Madurai, Red Pond Educational and Psychological Research Center Madurai, and Psycho-Oncological Association Turkey, we warmly welcome you all to today's session on media and emotional intelligence. And today it's me and Dr. Suresh Kumar sir who's going to be there for the session as resource persons. And we are not new to you, but still we are working together in Red Pond Educational and Psychological Research Center. We are happy to see you here today. Now I request Dr. Suresh Kumar to start the session on media and emotional intelligence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chandra. Very good evening to all, and it is a great pleasure being here to share our new inputs on media and emotional intelligence. I would like to give credit for one of my students. She is the person who is instrumental for giving inputs for the paper. The presentation today we are going to make it. Ms. Sureka. She is a final year psychology student, and she helped me a lot for this paper. So with that credit card, I can move on there. One is about we are aware about that media is an inevitable, it is an booming around the world, and without its influence, we cannot go away anywhere else. I think you all agree with me. It has a huge impact on our everyday life. And one more thing we have to understand that emotional intelligence, on the other hand, there are many corporate companies, many developed education institutions are insisting that importance of emotional intelligence. Why they are insisting? Our success and happiness depends on emotional intelligence. When we train these two components, we can be able to make a person successful one. That is why we are giving importance to emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, what is that? It is a capacity of perceiving the emotions. For example, if I'm happy or unhappy, if you perceive and you can able to understand, that's the first component. And second one is they have to assimilate the emotions related feelings. I see that some of the good qualities from Dr. Chandra. I will assimilate, I will take it that quality and then I can use it for appropriate time. And I have to understand that different emotions and informations are factors, the causes of emotions, and I have to manage that negative emotions. That's also important component of emotional intelligence. And we have to understand that these emotional development may or may not be influenced by media. And media has a huge impact on our emotional intelligence. Very, very important, because there are it can influence as both positive as well as negative. Emotion can influence on positive as well as negative. When these we are believing that the emotional intelligence will decline when we are spending that most of our time with technology or media. But actually, it says that not the time, how much time we are spending, but what we are using in that media, that has an impact on our emotional development. And there are many measures are there we can improve. We can use that media for developing our emotional intelligence. There are many strategies are there. We are going to talk about it. We will begin with that code. What is emotional intelligence? There are two terms are there, emotions and intelligence. Emotional intelligence is nothing but our ability. For example, you also having that ability, our ability to validate reason with the emotions. Why am I having this particular emotion right now? Why some persons are happy all the time? Why some people are angry? And when we know that this ability to validate why, and if they know the exact answer for that question, we can say that person is an emotionally intelligent person. And they have to use that enhance thought. That sometimes the disturbed emotion cause a lot further our cognitive process, like our decision making or problem solving. There are many components will be disturbed. So the emotional intelligence is very important thing. We have to nurture it. And now I request Dr. Chandra to take over. Over to you, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And as very well said, emotional intelligence is just two words. It's one's ability to understand the emotions and manage them very well. Okay, according to Daniel Goleman, an American psychologist, he is the one who helped in popularizing emotional intelligence. he has listed 5 important components of emotional intelligence. And if we can improve these 5 components, it is believed that we can make our emotional intelligence quotient to be more higher than what it is actually. So what are those 5 components? They are self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So how can we improve self-awareness? So the most easiest thing that you can do is we can keep a journal of understanding we are, becoming aware of our own emotions. So having noted down all that in a journal, you can spend little time in writing your thoughts of your day, and you can be aware of what emotions or feelings you have expressed on that day. With that, you can try to understand where your emotion have become stronger, like you have become more angry, more distressed, or more uncomfortable, and then you can examine why that has happened to you. So when you can work on this aspect, it is sure that you can improve your self-awareness. When coming to the second one, self-regulation, how can we self-regulate? Regulate in itself means you are working on regulating your own feelings. The first step you can do is you can try to be calm in a very bad situation, or in a if you are in a very bad feeling. First thing is like you can have a cup of water and then try to calm down yourself. From that point, you will understand what your values are. So, for example, every person can have their own standards and will understand what amount of that standards you can compromise or you cannot compromise. So, if you can understand that point, you can hold yourself accountable for what you are doing. All these 3 steps, so calming yourself and trying to understand your own values and holding accountable for your intentions and feelings, you can regulate yourself. So when coming to motivation, how can you self motivate? Whatever that you do for yourself is the best thing to do. So self care, self love, self regulate, self aware, and it is also possible to do self motivation. How can you do that? So firstly, you have to understand what is your stand in a particular situation, or your thing in handling a situation. So when you know where you stand, what really you are, you can self motivate yourself by feeling more hopeful, and also find something really nice to feel about what actually exists. So in this way, you can self-motivate yourself. Coming to empathy, all of us know that empathy is like putting ourselves in some other shoes. We can easily address our own thoughts and views. It is always important to understand what others feel about a particular thing or a situation. So empathy is putting ourselves in someone's place, and it is important to pay attention to someone's body language when you are communicating. In that way, it is easy for you to understand what the other people really feel. And also, it is important to learn to respond to the feelings of other people. It is very easy again to think about our own feelings or own emotions. So if a person is really agreeing to help you in something but feeling disappointed in doing that, we should be able to respond to both the feelings, and we have to address it accordingly. So all these things can make you feel more empathized, and it will improve your emotional intelligence. Finally, when coming to social skills, it deals more about communication. So how you communicate things with others, and how you are taking others feeling being communicated. So it is all about social skills, and also you have to learn how quickly and how easily, how healthier you can resolve someone's conflicts. So apart from this, we also should be able to prize others people for their achievements or for whatever good they are doing. It is not about feeling proud about ourselves. We should also develop a quality of appreciating other people, even if it is small or a bigger thing. So with all these components, we will be able to increase our emotional intelligence. It is according to Daniel Goleman, the American psychologist. So next slide, please. So having said the important components of emotional intelligence, it is also important to understand what we are talking about media is. So everybody has their own definition about what media is, but according to the literatures, the mass media includes the printing, that is the newspaper stuffs, and the electronic media. So the print media includes newspapers and magazines we have in all languages, and the electronic media includes television, radio, video games, music videos, and the internet. So these are considered to be the media, and we are going to see what impacts are they creating in our emotional intelligence. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. I think Crystal clearly explained that the 5 components set by Daniel Goleman and what are the different types of media, mass media are there. Now, we have to understand that the connection between, the relationship between, association between media and emotional intelligence. There are studies conducted, and one of the studies that media groups of the people were increasing among that, especially for the adolescents. Like adolescents are more number of youngsters are using media, like after they were exposed or having opportunity to have that mobile phone in the hand. They are the primary consumers of various social media, various types of social media. As you all aware about that, Telegram, Facebook, Twitter, the many components, they are the most of them are using that one. And it is estimated that youth and adolescents are spending an average of 6 to 8 hours in a day. They are spending 6 to 8 hours in a day, and they were exposed to any kind of media, maybe television, laptop, or maybe anything, any one of the media they were exposed. That's one thing. And another, we have to understand that if we are exposed to more time with media, okay, it has a both positive effect as well as negative effect. Now we will look into that. Some of the negative impact that will make in a person. One is when we are exposed to more media usage, we underdeveloped in the component of life skills. That's why World Health Organization insisted that in school curriculum itself, life skills must be included. The 10 core life skills, as we are aware about it, I will name the 10 core life skills: empathy, problem solving, interpersonal relationship, communication, critical thinking, creative thinking, management of stress, awareness about self, decision making, and emotional maturity. These are the 10 core skills they are insisting. But the people who were more time they are spending for media, different media, they are lacking that real life skills. Okay, virtually they may be very strong, technological skills they may have, but life skills they were lacking in. And many of them, they were in the world of virtual world. They stay away from the reality. That is another negative impact I can say. They cannot understand the feeling of others. They are not giving respect to the elderly people. I can see nowadays. And they are saying that it is their right. Yes, it is right. But you have to understand the feeling of the elderly population. What they are expecting in the mind. When you express your gratitude, that has a huge impact on their life. Very full effect. And the youngsters, those are spending most of the time with media, they are living in the fantasy world. Whatever the thing they are seeing in that models or television or movies, they think that it will be a reality one. But actually, the reality and fantasy are totally different one, and we are not aware about the discrimination between these two. And it decreases that interpersonal interactions. I can say, if we spend most of the time with the technology, they don't know how to interact with other members. And if you ask them the number of friends earlier days and nowadays, and the number of friend circle comes down because they are not having the extra skill to making more friends. And as we are aware about it, inside the home only they are doing all kind of activities, outdoor activities. That comes down because they are spending most of the time with media. It creates violence in our mind when they play violent games. Even though some of the studies were it is against, but most of the studies were saying that when you are violent games you are involved, and that kind of thought will be surfacing and ruminating in your mind. At one point of time, if you are not in normal balanced mood, you may become a violent one. And it increases anxiety level. Anxiety level in one person. I think some of you may aware about if you spend more than 6 hours in a movie or something in a television, you feel somewhat anxious, somewhat down. And these were the negative impacts I can say. And over to you, Dr. Chandra.
Actually, in continuation with what Suresh sir has presented about the negative.
I have to take it for me. The negative impacts. First is the next slide. I'll take care of this one. Thank you. And in continuation with the previous slide, and a few more negative impacts also there. And most of the students nowadays, they are distracting in their studies, and their lifetimes also change a lot, and time managements are very poor, and eating habits are comes down. there is no appropriate eating habits among the youngsters. It is because of media influence and impact on the youth. And addictions and psychiatric disorders are very common, and it contributes most of that the conflict between adolescent parents. Cyberbullying, they may not aware about they are harassing others in online. The negative comments putting in the other timelines, they think that I'm putting just for fun, but actually they are doing cyberbullying. This awareness is not among the OT Dr. Chandra for positive impact of media.
Yeah. Talking about negative impacts on one side, it is also important to see the brighter side of the other thing. That is what we talk about way of things. So what media has done in impacting the emotional intelligence positively, what it has helped is like it has helped in improving the strategic thinking. We can say that social media cannot replace the strategic thinking of people, but it has helped people in improving their strategic thinking. And you know, when you go on exploring on Internet Explorer or Google, it keeps you motivated in moving to different sites to learn different things, and that is how you improve your investigating skills through social media. And also, when you are provoked by certain good thing that happens on the social media, you are always tempted to follow it and to learn more about what it is. So in that way it helps in investigating, and also it boosts one's creativity and it is more of fun. It's not just you read news or you learn research articles on the media. You have lots and lots of things to do on internet, and that helps you to have more fun, more family time together on social media. And also it is believed to have eye and hand mental coordination. We all know that in this corona pandemic, most of the schools, I should say all of the schools are handling with online schooling, and the children are being taught how to use laptops on their own. In that way, they are doing all their academic work on social media. This has enabled their high eye and hand coordination along with their mental ability to learn things in a different mode, which is very different from face-to-face schooling. So in this way, it has also improved the engineering skills. You know, you keep learning every day new things on the social media. The next one, sir. Along with it, it has also built positive attitude towards life's obstacles. For example, if you get struck with a bad situation or with a bad feeling, previously, before having the social media, we used to talk to people and we used to get clarity on things what we doubt. These days, after the social media has come, I would say it is both bane and also a boon, because when you want to feel motivated, you explore new things on internet, or you learn cookery on YouTube videos, or you learn more positive things on the internet by learning more positive articles, and it also helps you working with people. Usually before, we used to know who our neighbor is, but now because of social media, we even don't know who our neighbor is, but we know millions and thousands of people on internet without seeing to their faces. In this way, you stay connected to a bigger social circle, and also it helps in improving your cognitive thinking and multitask mastery. I can personally tell my experience with the social media. I can put my webinar on, and with audio mute, I can help my kids in doing their online schooling, and also I can assist cooking in the kitchen. In this way, social media has given you more space to enjoy what you want to actually. It has also increased the cognitive and affective empathy. As we have discussed more about empathy in our sessions, you know, it is about a positive note that our empathy is being increased because of the social media. Over to you, sir.
I think here we strike balance between the positive impact and the negative impact. Just we move on to that other points regarding that the media influence on emotional intelligence. I think we may think that there are many devices we may use. Okay, and the time we spend on different social media, different devices. Whether these time spent on social media and the type of devices, the type of media we are using as an influence on are related to the emotional intelligence or not, there are a number of studies were conducted. And they come up with, there are many findings, and we will see in that coming slides also. Some of them, they are arguing that social media sometimes, and they believe that it improves our ability. Okay, social media, earlier there are many people, they cannot be able to share their feeling to others, the peer group members. But now they are social media connected, even the distance places, they can able to share their feelings. For example, I'm having the pain, emotional pain. If you may aware about catharsis, ventilation of your feelings. That can be done when you are interacting with your friend. If he is away from somewhere else and you could not meet him in person, these social media help you a lot. I think you all agree with me that that aspect it has a huge impact. And not only that, sometimes it helps us to cope up with stress. Okay, when you are looking and when you are watching other friends in that social media, you may not have that unwanted, unnecessary negative thoughts in your mind. Okay, you can, for example, relaxation audio you can listen that will make you to relax both physical, emotional, and social components. And there are some studies that have proven that yes, violent behavior are surfacing or predominant among the kids, the young children. It is because of they are exposed to more aggressive games. Yes, that is true. And they may not have that the distinction between real and the virtual one. And these the time we are spending with the devices most of the time that make them to distance from the human beings. The human interactions are coming down, and the negative impact of social media. There are many initiatives need to be taken for overcoming the problems. What is that? One is to improve the emotional intelligence we can take, and the benefit and the risk why we are using the media need to be addressed. And there are many strategies. Other, I request my co-presenter to take that the first set of strategy we can adapt for developing our emotional intelligence. What you that?
Yeah. What are the strategies that we can follow to improve the quotient of emotional intelligence? The first thing is like engage in self-evaluation. As we have discussed, it is important to evaluate ourselves. By that way, we will know where we are strong, where we lack, and what else we need in life to feel more contented and happy. In that way, it is not important to tell to others about what we are. I think it is important to understand what we are to ourselves so that we get a very honest picture of what we are and improve ourselves. The second thing is getting fluent in the language of emotions. So it is always important to understand emotions differently and distinctly. And it is also important to teach kids on it so that they will be able to understand very clearly what every emotion means in itself. In that way, they will be able to communicate to their peers in a better way. And this could be a strategy in improving their emotional intelligence quotient.
Yes,
Next one.
and when we want that another other strategies for developing emotional intelligence are, as we all know that emotions are valuable information that will give an information that whether the family members or loved one is in good mood or having the problem, we can able to understand from their emotions. Okay, that will help us to find the truth. Okay, whether it is the right time to speak with that spouse or not, that we can able to make a decision by observing the emotion, by knowing the emotions of others. Okay, and there are many things that we should avoid negative emotions. No, it is an important parcel of our life. We need to experience that. We have to give a space for negative emotions also, the bad emotions also. But it should not surface that your positive feeling in your lifetime. Okay, and we have to understand that if it is on four times you are experiencing 4 quarters, and one time you can go for negative, and 3 times you go for positive emotions. And the most of the time when I give on the practical example that, for example, I'm having something in my pocket. Just imagine that all the things what I'm having in my pocket are negative. There is no space for the positive emotions. When I have to go for positive emotions, I have to remove that negative and I have to place the positive. Now, when you keep the positive emotions, and there is no space for negative emotions, and whenever it comes, you just give a space to that. That's all. Here and there, go here and go. That's the space you have to give. There are some experts who are advising that you have to go for worry time. Every day, 10 minutes, a particular time, you sit for only for worries on the particular day, whatever the things are that happen to you. That also helps us to have that managing our emotions. And these are the strategies we can adopt for having improving that or developing that emotional intelligence of different levels. Over to you, Dr. Chandra.
So it is accepted and agreed that only when we have the feel of the bitter taste, we can feel the taste of the sweetness or the sugary thing. So it is important to accept whatever the emotion is, and it is all about how we are reacting to it and how we are managing it. So there lies the skill of managing the emotions, and it is important to pay more attention to the emotions on a daily basis. What it means, actually, it is becoming more self-aware about what our emotions are. You can be angry on someone, you can be sad for something, you can be happy for anything, but it is really that you imbibe that emotion in yourself and feel responsible for it. This is how, when you start noticing what your emotions are, it is better for you to understand the quality that you possess in handling with a particular emotion. And it also helps to self validate your feelings and emotions, not only yours, also you can respond in a better way to other people's emotions and feelings. And that's how empathy is born. So this is the strategy you can follow in your everyday life. And also it is important to manage your negative emotions as so it exists. It's a parts and parcel of our manage it in a better way. And this can happen through mindfulness or meditation or yoga.
And other strategies we have to look into that here. For example, we have to use that effective and active listening skills. Why we have to encourage listening skills? Most of the time we are not focusing on listening 100%. Sometimes here and there we are doing. So that also create an problem in understanding that emotion. Sometimes we may miss out that emotional cues expressed by that opposite person. For that only we are insisting increase that active listening skills. And another one is assertive style of communication. If you have the problem and if you feel that uncomfortable with that emotion, you say, I'm having that uncomfortableness and respond. Don't react to that particular conflict. That is very, very important to respond. That reaction is negatively it will come. So these strategies, when you practice these things, that will help you to be better emotionally mature, and you will develop the emotional intelligence. And we have to practice positive attitude and resilience in every situation. We are having the setbacks in our life. We have to bounce back to the normal. Bounce back to the normal. So these are the things we have to do for developing our emotional intelligence. Dr. Chandra? Dr. Chandra, are you there? I think she's having some network connection. I will complete that the remaining strategy also. We human beings are social animals. So we need to be approachable and sociable, and we have to develop the social skills. Okay, these when we are approachable and they know that the connectedness that you know that the emotions of others, and practice learned optimism. I think we had one workshop earlier, and Dr. Subhasri is very good in those components for making us to become a learned optimistic by connecting the theory with practice and self-compassion and self-love. So these practices will develop and improve that emotional intelligence at kids and as well as in the different levels. We have to practice these things. If you have not done as of now, hereafter, you can do any kind of strategy we have set here. You can follow to have your better emotional intelligence.
Thank you, sir. Actually, to add on to self-love, I think it is the best care one can take for yourself. It will help you to be assertive, and it will help you to feel proud about yourself. It is about all good feeling that one can possess. So I would say self-care and self-love are the best strategies to handle anything in this whole wide world. So another strategy could be is like listening to our favorite person's talk in the media. As I have told you earlier, even if you are in an upset mood or if in a bad mood, you go onto the internet and you listen to the nice songs or you listen to nice talks on videos, and also you can read positive blogs that's happening. Definitely, you'll feel motivated. Personally, I do read a lot of proverbs and quotes on whatever topic I would feel like when I'm not doing really good. That is one way that I do on internet. And it is also important for the parents to look after their children of what and monitor what they are doing on social media. These days, starting, I think the 1.5-year-old kid started to use their own smartphone or tablets, seeing to the internet and having their dinner or lunch. So it is important that we have to watch them to what they are watching, and we have to make them feel secured about what they are learning on internet. So it is the role or responsibility of a parent to look after their kids and watch their activity on social media. Please do take care on this. Also, yeah. With what all about media and emotional intelligence.
Thank you so much, Suresh sir and Chandra, Dr. Chandra, for that wonderful presentation. Definitely, media and emotional intelligence. Not only that, media and emotions are intertwined in this lockdown period. So, it really gave a platform for us to virtually and emotionally connect with each other. And that emotional bonding has been built. And thank you for focusing on many things and trying to give inputs like where to draw the line or draw the boundaries so that we don't like misuse media. Thank you so much for both of you. Excellent presentation, and I hope participants would have carried a lot of information from today's session. So participants, the floor is open for question and answers. You could either put in the chat box or you could unmute yourself and ask. So we are getting positive feedbacks. I hope the questions follow.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Doctor.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, Dr. Belaya. How are you?
Sorry, I joined it late, but I have a question.
Yes, welcome.
My son is 16 years old,
Okay.
and he's always busy with his mobile. But whenever I start looking at his phone, and he shouted at me because it's a teenage, you know better, na?
Yeah, you have to give
So, how can I make a check on what he's watching or what he's doing?
Okay, I can say that as a parent, you're curious to, you as a security would like to know that what is going. But I can say that they are having the privacy also. Think about at the age of 17, what you have done.
Yes, really. He needs privacy, actually. I know that.
And one more thing, we can monitor their activity. There are.
That is my question. How can I monitor?
Yeah, one thing I can view as right now, there are mobile smartphone. They are coming with digital monitoring, the digital detoxification or digital monitoring. There are something they are mentioning in the setting itself. Okay, that you can enable it, or else you can go for one application which is known to me. The name of the applications. If you are using Android phone, your hour. So that is the application you can install in your Android phone. Monitor at the end, you can get that all the details.
Okay, that's very good.
That's the person visited, how much time they spent, and how many websites were having that. Everything we can able to get. That is the clarity we can get.
Okay. That's very good. That's very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you for addressing that query, sir. Yes. Any other questions from the participants? I think those are the questions.
Yeah, I think they are very clear, and I think we took very. Usually, I will be very fast, like a super fast train, but now it is like a passenger train. We took in that way. It is because of Dr. Chandra motivated me, because she explained the concept very in an appropriate pause. You made me to do the same wavelength. Thank you, Dr. Chandra.
Thank you, sir. I think people are more aware of what media is and what emotional intelligence is, sir. It is all about handling things when it comes to the personal life situations. For example, Dr. Kavita, she expressed her, issue with her son who is using gadgets, and she don't have a way to monitor it. Sir, it is easy to delete the history, sir. The children are very, very smart in doing it. More smarter than smartphones, actually.
Exactly, exactly. Next generation is more smarter. Yes.
Yeah, what I would suggest is, sir, okay, he is 16 now, but what I'm suggesting to the parents with kids of younger ages is like, we have to teach the morality and discipline on using the gadgets, sir. Let them be free in whatever they want to do and keep us informed about it. That is one way we can try when they are small. So when they are big, even they should be informed about the consequences that they will face if they are going to cheat his mom or dad, sir. That is one thing. Only we can morally threaten them. I should not use that word threaten, but that is the only way. Otherwise, they will be facing their own consequences. That is my, and we know much about media, how it is impacting on kids' academic performances also, sir. But most of the parents are in trouble, but we don't have a clear-cut solution to it. So it is debatable, but still we can think on different strategies and try one by one in the go and feel which is useful for us. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Chandra. Thank you so much.
To add on, can I add on?
Pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. Shubha, ma'am, please go ahead.
Welcome, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is a very important one. Which the question arises. No, I really thank her for this. 16 years is their adolescence in the peak, so we have to really respect their feelings, validate their feelings. Number one, if you do that and give them a freedom, you have given you, if you are a parent who is concerned about them rather than curious, they will come forward and approach you even freely about what they are watching, what they are talking, what they are actually. If you've been very judgmental, they really take a distance from your side. So I think adolescence, the period, the parenting style should be it should be a dynamically, you have to adjust to the style. You shouldn't be the same person like when you are monitoring them as a child. You have to really give them a freedom with the boundaries. The boundaries has to be very clear cut, among them. And they have to really bounce back to them, and they have to be given and safe assurance that you will be validated. Even if you do mistakes, I accept you. It is fine, but you have to be really open for all this. That is the way we train them. As Chandra and Suresh was pointing out throughout, the life skills are very important for them. Let them be having informed decisions. Okay, so I think if you train them, if you have given them a freedom and also a boundaries set, because you have a family rules which you can talk about that, and I think parents also follow that. Parents must follow. If you are hiding your phone from your son, then you don't earn the right to ask about that. So you should really do that by being a role model for them. Thank you for the opportunity.
Ma'am, shall I add a point with you, ma'am?
Yes.
Actually, below 13 years, if kid is there, we can create a mail ID with under parental control. It is a family link. In Google, that option is for us. Actually, for my brother's kids, I'm doing that. If the child is, the Android phone is given to them, if they download anything, they are seeing any websites, they are playing any games, it will notification comes to us. So we can see that, but we don't control that. Why this much time you are playing like that? We just watch them. We can watch them, and if they are under parental control, they can't download some unwanted videos, and some unwanted advertisements also won't come to them. So this is an option, very good option for the kids under 13 years. But if kid is above 16, we if a kid is interested, we can do that. In Google, we can get mail. Whatever mail they are getting, the same mail we also get. The same. But the kid is interested only, we can do this. If kid is not interested, my way, actually what I done for my son, when he is 16, I just enter all his social media. If he is starting a Facebook account, I will also start a Facebook account. I will make friends with his friends also, but I won't comment. I won't give comment or anything with anybody. I won't say, hey, well, sometimes they will say, my son itself say, I'm very in bad mood. But here he is in a happy mood only. Here he is cheer up only in home and everything. but I won't ask why you did that bad, why you did like that. So I'm just watching. If something going wrong, we may get the first news. So I'm if he's starting Twitter account, I will also do the Twitter account. We the updating ourselves. They are sometimes they are also giving interesting ideas about that also. See, Ma, see, do status like this. See, do like this. So updating us, giving them to chance to share their feelings with us. So we have to update ourselves. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Shall I share my?
Vetri Vishal, Mugwant, you have done a wonderful job. No wonder that you got a new mobile as a gift from your husband.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Moral policing, ma'am. Moral policing.
Good evening, sir. May I share my personal experience? Okay. When my son turned 15 years old and most of his classmates had their mobile with them, so I just made him sit with me and I just had a conversation with him. What are the pros and cons? Then I just gave the final choice to him. Do you really need a mobile right now? Then I said you think about it for a few days and then you give me your answer. Is it really a necessity? He said, Mummy, I don't need to think about it. I can answer right now because you and Daddy personally pick up and drop me. So there is no need for communication right now. And there's a mobile in home for me to play games with, which is a common mobile shared by him and his sister, younger sister. So he said, if I need anything, I can play in that or I can Google and search in that. I don't think I need it right now, Mom, he said. And the common pattern in our family from both my husband's and my side is till the children enter the college, they are not encouraged to get a new phone. That's the operation till now, followed by the entire family. So he has a set of cousins who don't own a mobile till they turn first year into college. So the choice was always his. Even when his friends ridiculed, he was like comfortable to say, no, it's my choice and my mom gave me the option. So it's better for them to think about it and make a choice by themselves. And unfortunately, many parents come and ask me what their sons are feeling because those children, they come and communicate with me rather than with their own family members. They shut the door. So they say, I don't know, sir, this is my personal experience and he has had no issues till now. He's in 11th standard right now. He has had no issues. I constantly ask him, do you feel something lacking, not owning a phone? He says, no, ma, I'm just happy, just like it. This is my personal experience, sir. I don't know how it applies to everyone. Thank you, sir.
Good answers.
Vijay Priya ma'am, please do keep sharing this wherever you can. You are going to become an inspiration and a learning for most of the parents, and even I am in the list.
Okay, thanks a lot, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's all about how we communicate it with the kids. Instead of confronting them or make them feel guilt about what they are doing, we just tell them that this is what will happen to you while you're in adolescent. Kids do understand, but when you confront or make them feel guilt about it, they definitely will find ways and means to hide things from you. So always be transparent in your communication. So with that, we come to the end of the session, hopefully, and I request Shubha ma'am to please do the vote of thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Veena. It was a wonderful session. It was a beautiful, symphony between Suresh and Chandra. And it is actually making me to appreciate Chandra for her spontaneous pickup and giving because Suresh and me and Veena doing is not a great deal, and Chandra is doing wonderful job. I must really appreciate her because different background, but she has picked up psychology as her, the psychology for everyone kind of, and she is really interested to learn a lot, and she's been in various forum for learning itself. I personally appreciate her in this note. and I could see that no, she is grooming like a budding psychologist, and I'm happy for that, and I also appreciate for that. And Suresh, I really thank for this wonderful session on media and emotional intelligence, which is a very needed topic right now, because we cannot be saying no to social media right now, because most of us are living with social media at this pandemic period. Without that, even we cannot reach out people like this. So I think we have to really thank in one way. And as Chandra said, it is also the other side is also there. We have to see the good and bad of all this. And it's a beautiful topic, and you have chosen it right and delivered it very well. And I really like the way it has been carried out, because Suresh gives a lot of surprises for all of us. Morning he calls, and at 4 o'clock he calls, or sometimes he calls while he's doing the session, and make us present. And we all are being highly built for resilient, highly resilient experts in field of psychology right now because of Suresh. We are ready always. We are like an force, NIRD forces nowadays. And this has grown. And I'm really thankful for that experience also. Please accept our gratitude from Department of Psychology, Madurai American College, as well as the participants, wonderful participants who have been traveling with us for more than, it's going to be a year, and we all are going to celebrate the year with 375 days sooner. And for this, only because of you guys who have been an motivation and drive for all of us to keep going. It is a wonderful initiative, though it is from our side, but without your support, we could have not reached this high. And thank you so much for that. Please pass on this message to others also, because they are also let them get benefited like you all are getting it. And every day session is a learning practice for all of us. So let's enjoy this learning journey. Thank you so much. And other associate partners like MSSW and MS Challamuthu Education Trust, and as the Rehabilitation Center, and the Psycho-Oncology Turkey, and other associations. Please, it's a grateful salute for all of you for being with us throughout also. Thank you so much. And once again, I thank Suresh, the lead, who has been a pillar for all of us to take this initiative forward. And also the entire core team member who has been tirelessly working for this entire, webinar to take place every day on dot 6:30. Happy and very cheer to say this, that I am one among them. I feel really pride to share this, and I am happy to embrace and also say that let's continue this.
Thank you so much, Shubha ma'am, for that wonderful vote of thanks. Both the experts, both of the speakers of today's session really needed that. Thank you so much. And participants, kindly send your queries and feedback to mywebinarfeedback@gmail.com. We will meet tomorrow with yet another wonderful session. Thank you. Good night.